Hi, everybody. I didn't write too many notes today. Finale of Survivor just aired. Just finished watching. Lovely evening of Survivor, just like watching and playing it out in my head and like sitting on the edge of my seat. And I have to say, like, I'm so happy with how it played out. I was just like screaming, jumping up, like pumping the air with my fists. I don't know. It was just crazy, and I was worried. I was happy. I was excited. I was sad. Like everything happened in this finale, and I really can say that it was like the perfect ending to a season. Could have gone horribly wrong. Like it really could have gone either way this episode. And I'm just so happy. Like Tony, Spencer. Like I couldn't decide who I wanted to win, and I think I'm so happy with how they both played. I'm so like. I really floored at how different their games were, but how awesome their games were. And, overall, the cast was great. Jeff said it. I've been saying it all along that it's, the season where I feel like most of the cast was there to really play. And I'm just really pleased. Like, my worst case scenario was having a Woo and Cass final two. And thankfully, that did not happen. But at the same time, like, I have to give like credit where credit is due, and I'll talk about it in more detail when I get into proper gameplay, but I really just wanted to start by saying I'm so happy, and it was a really great season, and it was so great to live it with all of you. And so I guess let's talk some strategy. I'll also start by saying that I'm going to save a little moment towards the end for a few shout outs. So please watch all the way. If you don't, if you need motivation, I might have a special message for you. And I also want to say that for some stupid reason, I didn't charge my camera before recording this. So I hope it doesn't cut in the middle. But if for some reason it does, I'll just stick them together or something. I don't like editing my videos, so it won't look great. But anyway, I'll just get down to it. Let's go through a quick play-by-play of the episode. We finally got families in. It was a little bit late. One of my friends and a huge Survivor fan and like really awesome friend basically made a really interesting suggestion that it was possible they didn't bring families in until this point because they didn't get the Sprint sponsorship, and that's why they also didn't have fan favorite. So it makes sense, this way they only brought 4 people in. They still have to have family reunions, like family episodes. So this was a good way to do it, and then we didn't have like a poor quality challenge, and I think it does make a difference to have your family watch you during a challenge. It was, it gives you that extra push. So so like that first challenge, immunity challenge of the night was a really scary one. Like what the hell, they were up so high on those perches. I mean, just watching them, I'm surprised like no one fell. I mean, it looked pretty terrifying, and like Cass pulled it out. Like I don't even know how. She was so far behind, but that's another thing you've got to love about the show. Is really great, except it was also really sad because it basically meant that Spencer was kind of screwed. And I knew it. Like when he told Tony, hey, can I come talk to you? I paused it. I turned to my boyfriend and I was like, he knows it's final 2. He knows because it's only day 37. He's going to pitch to Tony. Push play. And that's exactly what he did. And I love that about Spencer, that he saw that it was a final 2. He really played his case well with Tony. I think that he could not have done anything better at that point in the game. It was, really brilliant. I was so excited to see him do that. I was really hoping he wouldn't get voted out, and I actually like screamed when he did. I was just so nervous, and I was just like, no. It was painful to watch. And I actually think that Tony made a mistake, if you could say that. I think he made a mistake. I think that the only reason he still came out on top as the winner of Survivor Cagayan at the end is because of Tony's incredible ability to somehow, and like he kind of describes, like bring himself back on top in a dire situation, sort of fix things that he may have not misplaced, but like ruffled up in a way. And despite the odds, he manages to weasel his way through. And I don't like the word weasel. It's like strategize his way through, you know? So it was really bummed to see Spencer go, and like I mean, I'm sure we'll see Spencer back, but really just like amazing, like really played all the way to the end, and that's all I can ask for, and I really loved it. So next we have our final challenge, amazing final challenge. They're always so cool, like so well-rounded. With Tony honestly sucking in puzzles, like that's the other reason I think he made a mistake. Like there was really very little chance that he could win. I mean, I guess oftentimes it's a endurance challenge, so he might have pulled that off. I guess he didn't really know, but honestly, amazing final challenge. Really cool that it was so close. Wu won. I was honestly terrified at that point that it was going to be like my worst case scenario, where it would be a Wu cast finale. And yeah, I mean, we saw Wu have to make like his one decision in the game. You know, he made the decision to take Tony to the end. And I think that in part shows, you know, I understand. He would have won, obviously, if he'd taken Cass to the end, but that's not the game that he was playing. Tony saw that. Tony, again, great strategy. He knew who he was talking to. He knew who he was dealing with. That's part of the game. You're dealing with a guy from Taekwondo who has played a loyal game. Like, Tony basically said everything he needed to say to sway Wu, and, I mean, he did it beautifully. It was really amazing again on Tony's part, and just, you know, sort of secures the win for him yet again. And I think Wu's biggest move almost was at the final tribal, just being like, hey Jeff, can I switch the subject and can we just go to the vote? You know, I thought that was pretty funny. But makes sense also, you know, so I get why Wu did it. I think his behavior is admirable, and at the end his loss was admirable, but he handed the game to Tony in a way, and like, but I also have to thank him for not, like, spoiling the game for me, because, I mean, it wouldn't have spoiled it entirely, but I would have been so disappointed if it had been a Cass and Wu final. So, yeah, I guess thank you, Wu, for not spoiling the season and continuing to make it an awesome thing. So, yeah, I loved the final tribal. I mean, I knew from that point that it had to be Tony. I don't see how Wu could have won unless it really was a bitter jury, but I had a good vibe about the jury not being too bitter, aside from a couple of people here and there. I thought there were great questions in the final tribal. I think the standouts were, I'm going to say Morgan. My friend Tor here probably really enjoyed that. But yeah, I think Morgan was really funny, and I loved her question to Tony. Like, I don't know, it was hilarious. So kudos to that, to Morgan. Trish was really intense, like really intense. I'd read somewhere that, you know, she wasn't like holding any grudges with Tony, and we saw that at the reunion show as well. But it was really powerful, and I think like the best part is that Tony did own up to everything, and he had the right answers, even though they weren't like the good, you know, whatever moral answers necessarily. And that goes back to what Parvati said during the reunion, or I guess during the finale, and that, you know, at Final Tribal you want someone who's going to own up to what they did, and he really did that. So I think he secured his win again really well at that Final Tribal. And then Spencer, I mean, wow, like I love that Spencer was such a good sport, you know, like he was an amazing candidate to win. You guys know, like I couldn't even, like, if it were Spencer and Tony in that final tribal, like, I seriously don't know who I would have picked. So I love that Spencer really took his role on the jury seriously and pled to the jury. You know, we've seen it before with awesome players, and basically, you know, said this is why Tony should win. And I think that definitely swayed Trish, Sarah, Jeremiah. I think all of them were convinced by Spencer's speech. I also think Wu did really well. I was really impressed with his final speech at the end. Like, he was very eloquent, very well spoken. There were no dudes or bros, no no. I mean, he did better than than I would think. I really, yeah. But it wasn't good enough. Like, Tony really deserved to win. Like, it's just no context. So when that happened, when the vote was read again, I just like screamed. I screamed when Wu took Tony to the end. I was just like, you know, it's late and there are dogs and babies in the building, but whatever. I was just way too excited. So I'm so happy with this win. I think Tony really deserved it. I think it's just like a great testament to, you know, I mean, you guys just play my videos back. I said from the beginning, like, Tony's playing too hard, he's playing too impulsively, he's making too many mistakes, he's not gonna win. I have it on video, and then week after week, he just like really impressed me, played with his gut, somehow like made up for the mess ups that he would do. I just think, like, I don't know, like, he pulled it off somehow, both socially and strategically, and I'm just so happy he won. Like, I would have been equally happy had Spencer won, but I'm just like, go Tony. So I think it's really awesome. I'll move on to some comments on the reunion show. I thought Wu was really a great sport at the end. I really enjoyed that. I want to talk about actions in the game versus life, because there was a comment thread in one of my previous videos about that, and I like to think that things that happen in Survivor won't affect how people view you or what people do in life, like have consequences on your life when you get back to it. And we saw it with Tony. Tony was definitely reckless, ruthless in the game, and he has people behind him. I don't think it really affected him too much, although he seemed really beat up. Like, parasites, that's scary. It's definitely the kind of thing that makes you realize it's real. So yeah. And then I was kind of bummed to see that Sarah and Tony weren't speaking, and that, again, I guess Tony went like off his rocker, like with tweets against Sarah, but it's good to see at least he and Trish are on good terms, and most of the cast is like vibing well. I really liked that Jeff wrote a letter to Spencer. That was really cute. I'm with Jeff on this one. I didn't like Spencer, but not because I didn't think he had a chance in winning. I just didn't like his attitude, and like, he really picked it up and he really got into it, and it just, yeah, I mean, I completely changed my mind about Spencer as well, and I think he played an awesome game. Special Idol, I still don't love it. I would have been happier had Spencer found it or had Tasha found it, but I still think that putting it late in the game with or without a clue is just, it really does affect the dynamics, and I don't think it's a good thing. Please don't bring Jatia back, Jeff. I don't care what you say. No one wants to see Jatia back on the show. Okay. Y'all know I loved LJ in this season, and obviously I'm not the only one of my gender to have found him attractive, but I don't find hair implants attractive, and I don't know what happened, but he went from not having hair in this general area to having spiky hair in this general area. Like, is that just me? Like, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was just like long and he cut it, and it like, I don't, whatever, a little, he was good eye candy for the show, but I'm gonna stick to my Ozzy and my Malcolm for my general Survivor eye candy. Next season, we got a preview. It's happening in Nicaragua. Clearly they found their like hot spots for the show: Philippines, Nicaragua, Panama. I don't know how I feel about another Blood versus Water. Like, it was a great season, but we like just had it. I feel like it's too soon. It could still work. I'm not gonna hate on it right away. I will say that who I want to see back is Malcolm. I don't think they'll bring back more than one or maximum two people from this current season, so maybe we'll see Spencer back with his sister, who knows. I don't know who else we'll see. I don't think that they're gonna bring back anyone who's played 3 times already, so unfortunately, like, I don't think we're gonna see any Parvati, or it would be great to see Parvati, but like some of the really old schoolers I don't think we'll see. I think it'll be more new people again, newer fan faves. It doesn't look to me like Tony would do it again because of his current physical state, so maybe Tony will come back in future seasons. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. So, awesome season. Now I'm going to move to my shout-outs, and I'm going to first start by thanking the person who introduced me to Survivor, my boyfriend. So some of you have asked this in the past for a cameo, so I'm gonna bring him on. Everyone say hi to Nat. Here he is.
Hey guys.
So thanks again for introducing me to Survivor.
You're welcome.
I know you've turned me into a bit of a monster. I hope you're okay with that.
She's obsessed with it.
So yeah, how do you feel about the end of the season? Are you happy?
Yeah, I think this was an amazing season. One thing is that I've actually never seen a player play as hard as Tony has. I know Spencer played amazingly, but just in terms of pure intensity and obsessiveness, I think Tony was on a different level. So I think he was a worthy winner for this season.
Well, it's been watching with you. Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's it for the camera.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
So yeah, that's my boyfriend, Nat. And I can thank him for being here because I wouldn't be here without him. And, you know, that's also, I have some other really awesome friends who I watch the show with and who comment away with me by, like, text. We were all texting tonight. And it's really great to have, like, such cool people who are as into the show as I am to watch it with. So, yeah. And then this one's for another one of my fans, I guess. It feels weird saying that. My viewers. So this is Morgan. Tor, this is for you. Hi, Morgan. Hi, Diana. I guess I just want to say that despite it all, you know, like, good end to the season, good comments. I don't know if I'd want to see you again, but I'm gonna say yes, just so that my friends here can enjoy looking at you in this, pretty much. So maybe see you again. Okay, cool. Dora, I was gonna wear a t-shirt, but I forgot to print, like, a photo of her, so I hope this picture does it for you. For some of my commenters from Australia, you asked where I was from in Australia, where I'm half Australian, and I am from Melbourne, and I am not gonna hate on anyone from Sydney. I love Sydney too. So if you think any less of me because I'm half Melburnian, then I'm sorry, but Melbourne is awesome, so is Sydney, and that's pretty much it. Other comments, I'm out of battery, so I'm going to see how I can keep vlogging. Some of you have suggested I vlog about Big Brother, so I might try doing that, and now I'm out of time, so bye! Hopefully see you guys soon, and yay to an awesome season! Yay, bye!